Hello, 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 Sanibonani, beautiful people. Sanibonani, how are you? Wherever you are, I do apologize for running late. We did have some technical problems. Please do forgive me. But we are within. We are here now. We are within. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are watching us from Facebook, please do consider coming to join us on YouTube, because we will be taking questions from people on YouTube. Please do come and join us from YouTube. It is a very, very interesting day today. I did promise you that I would bring you this video because I've been getting a lot of questions, especially in the last month or so. We've had a lot of coverage on the Zulu culture, the Zulu people, the Zulu tribe, which is one of the most famous and one of the strongest tribes in Africa. We are known around the world historically, we are well documented, and we have maintained our culture. And one of the things that have confused people about our culture is the famous reed dance, the annual reed dance, which had stopped. But the late King Goodwill Zwelithini, reintroduced the practice about 30 years ago. And this is when, well, I won't tell you what happens, because I do have one of the Zulu Maidens who does attend, who's been attending, who will be answering your questions. So please write your questions. And I must tell you, this show is going to be in English because it is on Thenjiwe Unplugged. That is my English channel. And this is to answer questions from my international friends as well, who have a question or two about the practice. Unfortunately, I can't share videos or photos because in a lot of them you will see that the maidens are bare-breasted, and YouTube doesn't like that. I've seen it on other YouTube videos and it seems to be fine, but I have posted some of the functions, Zulu traditional functions, where women were showing their breast, and I got into trouble with YouTube. So I won't be able to share any, like the songs, the dance, but you can always just go on the internet. It's a quick Google search, Royal Zulu Dance, and you will find it. It is the Zulus and the Swati people in the Nguni tribes that still practice the culture. It is annually, it's in September, but a lot of people have a lot of myths and assumptions about it. There were a lot of newspaper articles saying the king who liked to sleep with virgins, the king who liked to look at virgins. Even people from within my culture, they are so misinformed about what exactly happens at the reed dance, and why is it so important for us as the Zulu tribe, other tribes as well, but I'm talking about the Zulu tribe, something that I personally know. Why do we take virginity like such a precious thing? Why do our girls have to hold on to their virginity? Why do we so many questions? I won't ask the questions for you because some of you did send me the questions. I did post earlier, and you also please do send me questions, because your questions will be answered today. I am joined by the one and only Slay Binga, who must also explain to us what does Slay Binga mean, because a lot of people do not understand and they're so confused. My daughter.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And guys, by the end of this YouTube channel, I need all of you to help me to push Slay Binga to open a YouTube channel where she can talk about these things, where she can teach the world about these things, as well as the young girls growing up. I keep telling her, she's joined now. She's opened a YouTube channel, but she's posted one video. So we need to push her. Please help me to push her. But please, Slay Binga, please introduce yourself. Who is Slay Binga?
Thank you for hosting me and greetings to everyone. My name is Sinesifiso Zondi. Well, but I go by the name of Sleeping. And a lot of you guys are curious, what does it mean? What is the sleeping thing? Why out of all the names you would choose that? Well, we live in a day and an age where as much as we embrace where we're coming from and as much as we have this love of culture, as much as we are still rooted and we still practice our tradition, but how do we keep up with the times? Because I mean, times have changed and culture has evolved in so many years, and we need to understand that culture is not static also. So in a way that things used to be done before, it is not the same way as things are being done now in this day and age. So me being usleeping, it means that I am living in the moment. However, I am still taking back my background and indigenous teachings and knowledge into this present time, and I'm still keeping up with the times. It means I am still practicing my culture, I am still rooted, I still appreciate and I still embrace who I am and where I come from. Yet I am still adapting to the moment and I am still adapting to the life that we're living now. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? Things have changed, like I said before. With the process of Weshela, of which it is pursuing a girl, you cannot be expected to go to the river with your bucket and just wait for the guy there to come and pursue you. No, things are no longer done that way. And what do we do to adapt to the moment of which the moment, like, what do we do to adapt to how things are being done now? So that's how the name sleeping comes in, because we're still doing things ngendlela yakudala and yet we're still adapting to the times and we're still keeping up with the times. And we do understand the evolution. Seems like our host is gone. Mama, are you still there?
Yes. If I do disappear again, continue talking. I will be coming back. I think we are having some technical difficulties.
Okay, no problem. Yes.
Yes, you were still explaining. Can we explain to people the meaning of binga? Because some people, not just people outside South Africa, even some South Africans, do not understand what is a binga. It's a very difficult thing to explain in English, but it basically means someone who's unapologetically Zulu, someone
Yes.
who can dress up as an indigenous Zulu person. It doesn't matter whether they are sitting on a first class seats in an international flight, someone who speaks their Zulu with pride, someone who carries themselves as a Zulu. So it basically means unapologetically Zulu.
Unapologetic, yes. And a lot of people tend to think that when you call yourself Ibinga, it means you probably dumb or something, or there's something missing up here. No, it's not about that, guys. When you are Ibinga, it's about you being proud of who you are and not being afraid to show it. You are embracing it. Wherever you go, you let them feel your presence. But you know what? Ibinga is here right now, and you're gonna see me and you're gonna feel me. So that's what it means. And being Usle Binga means fine, I can rock up like this, dress like this. Listen, I can take you to the present day while I'm looking like this.
Mm. And number one, first thing that I would like us to clear, guys, please write your questions because this is about you. I mean, I know all the answers, but I am doing this for you. What have you had, and what do you personally think, so that we can sort you out? You can understand why these things are being done. Number one, people associate these cultural practices with people who are, number one, uneducated, very barbaric, very backwards, who are not exposed to the modern world. What can you say to people who think like that?
Like I said, and my name says it all. you can slay and live in the moment and do whatever that you want to do while you are ibhinca. When you are ibhinca, it doesn't mean that you are stupid. It doesn't mean that you are backward. It doesn't mean that you can't keep up with anything. It's just you being proud and embracing and unapologetically so, doing it unapologetically. So that's what it's about. It has nothing to do with the mindset. It has nothing to do with your intelligence or anything like that. No, trust me, there are a lot of cultural people out there who are still rooted, and yet they are intelligent. They are geniuses out there who are amabhinqa.
I do have some videos of you girls and other Zulu maidens. A lot of you are very well educated, degree educated. You drive your own cars, you have your own properties. And what made you, as an educated young person in a modern world, to decide, I want to join umhlanga, I want to join this, and I want to preserve my virginity?
Yazi ma, what I think we need to understand first of all as people, or especially as our people of our culture, we need to understand that umkhosi womhlanga, or being a maiden, before, way back, it wasn't a decision that was supposed to be taken by a girl, or it was not out of their own will or them being interested. It was a cultural way of grooming young women. It was a cultural way of keeping them safe, of teaching them everything that they need to know. Same thing with white people. They do practice, or they do have sexual education, all those things that they have in their culture, their way of grooming girls. So same thing, we also have this as the Nguni people. This was our way. So back then, it did not depend, or it was not a girl's decision to take. It was something that was supposed to be done for you to grow up and become a woman that you need to become. You need to go through this stage. You need to go through this teachings that you get from the life of being a maiden. So people need to understand that it is not something, I think it only started being a decision when after colonialism. Yes, it became something that you should decide on after colonialism. So we need to understand our culture, pre-colonial and post-colonial. That's what we need to understand. Back then, it wasn't a decision that was taken by a girl. It was something that you need to do. It was something that you need to practice. It was something that you need to go through.
And we know that in most places, you'll have to go to a nursery school to find a virgin over the age of 7, because, hey, people start doing koflof very early in life. What made you decide to preserve yourself?
My decisions are very deep and different from the rest. First of all, it is not about marriage for me. Secondly, it is not just about being a virgin, and still be intact. I'm from a background where culture is not practiced, and it is not stressed on you as a young woman to preserve yourself. Behavior, it is not something that is addressed. You just live your life however you want to live it, of which it has led to a generation in my family that I'm not proud of. And what I've seen, it is something that I do not want for myself. Growing up, not having someone to look up to into your family, it is not nice. Growing up, not having a sister that can advise you, or a sister that you can talk to about certain things, it is not good. The feeling, it kind of breaks you, and it kind of demotivates you as a person or as a young woman growing up in that family. So I had to take a decision. And I had to take that decision and make sure that I'm creating a different history. I'm creating a different history for the next generation. I don't want the next generation to go through what I went through. There was only one way to do that: preserve myself. That's the only thing that makes me different, and that's the only thing that separates me from the rest in my family. Because they are educated, I am educated, but there's something that is different about me. I have decided to preserve myself. I have finished school, varsity, without having a kid. And if I walk out there, no guy will say, I know her naked. No one.
They've seen you naked, all these cultural things you do. When
I don't mean it that way.
That's right.
Well, I can't say you've seen me naked when you see me like that. That's not nudity.
That's not nudity. And Thenjiwe are both from, yes, we are both from the same Zulu tribe. We are. And what age group does one expect? What age group can I find? Because I know the ages, but people get shocked that there are women of this age who are still preserving themselves and attending. So for someone who's going for the first time, what sort of age groups can they expect to see?
I think umhlanga, you need to go there when you are matured enough and when you have an understanding of what you're doing, because we have young girls at the age of 7 years going there, and, as much as it does build them in a way, and as much as it grows interest in them for this journey. However, I just think you need to go there when you are matured enough and when you are able to consume all the information that you get there and when you have the understanding. However, having a foundation, it is a good thing.
And I know I've got a friend who's 76. She still goes to Mhlanga. She's still a virgin, and that's by choice, not because nobody has ever wanted to marry her, but she just decided, no, I will keep myself. And a lot of people seem to think girls who do it, they do it because they want marriage. And there's this big myth that you guys go there for the king to choose a new virgin wife every year. So you guys are going there to display yourselves so that the king can choose you. So when you are dancing, you're like, choose me, king, oh, king, choose me. So please explain.
Okay, before I explain that, can I go back to the age problem or the age issue? I think the problem again started when we started putting numbers in the stages, Yes, women go through different stages. However, it is not measured by the age. It is measured by maturity. And talking about maturity, I mean even the physical changes they go through, that's what measures it. So what we have in the ebizwa ngokuthomba. And that's when.
Can I just cut you before you continue with ukuthomba? Ukuthomba, for those of you who don't understand, when a girl starts their periods for the first time.
Yeah.
When it comes to stages, the reason things started having numbers, and umemulo is at 21, this is at 14. It came with the education system. Because parents felt like, okay, when you finish school and you graduate, an average person graduates at 21 or 22. That's when you see that most people are thinking 21 is traditionally the age to do umemulo. It is not. It's education that dictated that to our culture. But
that's what we need to understand. Where do we draw the line between these two? Where do we draw the line? That is something that we need to understand. Okay, coming to a point of the king choosing and all of that. First of all, I've never seen our king with a 20-something-year-old wife. That is something we need to rectify.
Except for when he was in his 20s himself.
Exactly. But when he was old, I've never. And funny, because the people who say these things, these things, they've never been there, So just to answer to that, well, first of all, I've never seen him with a 20-something-year-old wife. Secondly, I've attended the reed dance for years, and in those years, I've never seen him pointing at a young girl saying, "You are going to be my wife." I've never. Not even to come near those girls, not even to come near us. There's a space between us and the king, and if you look at the videos, you will see him by the what's this, the altar there, or the pulpit there, whatever you call it. That's where you're gonna see him. You will never see him here by us.
There's protocol.
Exactly. There's rules there. So to answer the question, no, we do not go there to be chosen by the king. I mean, there's thousands of us. When is he gonna finish us?
Because there's, when we say thousands, like tens of thousands. And
exactly,
people labeled our king as someone who checks girls' virginities. Like, you guys go there and open it up for him, and then he tells you if you're a virgin or not. How is the process when you go to the reed dance? Obviously, you're not gonna expose everything. This is culture. We have to preserve it. We must be careful how much we share. But just the basics. Does the king come and ask you to open your legs and check if you are still a virgin? Because that seems to be what's going around.
I think I've answered this already when I say the king does not come anywhere near us. That's the answer.
Okay. There was someone earlier who said they like preserving themselves, but they don't want to go to be checked at the royal reed dance. They would rather people come and check her at her own home. Can you please answer that?
Who has time to check people at their dance? Because when we go there, firstly, we need to understand the purpose of the reed dance. The reed dance is like prayer to us. So when we go there, we're going there to pray for the nation, to pray for the rain. We're talking to Mother Nature. We're communicating about all the issues that we're facing as a society. And when we go there, we come together, we embrace, we call upon the spirits of our ancestors.
Yep.
We pray for them.
Let me explain to people, in our Zulu culture, there are certain things that can only be done or touched by a virgin. There are certain places where only a virgin or an old widow who no longer sleeps with a man is also regarded as pure. There are things that if you still do clove, you mustn't be part of. And it's so sad, because the only year where we didn't have a proper reed dance, well, some people will argue and say we had it, some people say we didn't have it, but it wasn't proper. There's virtual things that happened in 2020. And it's followed by the nation's biggest tragedy. We lost the king, because this is the importance of the reed dance. These pure virgins, these innocent people, the izimbalizezwe, our nation flowers. I don't know how to praise them in English, but we have praises for them in my language. And they pray every year. They pray for the nation. And after 52 years of not having such a tragedy, it happened the year after we didn't do the reed dance and the prayer, because people don't understand. And let me take some of the questions. Some people did send questions earlier, and you can add on to what I was saying, Slay, while I look for these questions, please.
So when we go to the reed dance, it's all about that, praying for the nation, coming together. Since we are still pure, since we are still innocent, we're not practicing any sexual activities, or we're not indulging. Because it is believed, or it is said, that when you start indulging, you no longer have only your spirit, but you also have other spirits in you, of which they might contradict with whatever practice that you will be doing. You know, so when we're going to pray for the nation, the only thing that tests your virginity, it is umhlanga, that stick that we carry, not the king.
Yeah, this is a very big and important thing, because when you carry the umhlanga, the reed,
Yes.
and you take it to the royal palace, and it forms the fence to guard the royal palace. It's a very beautiful and meaningful thing. If you get a chance, please do attend it. I hope our new monarchy will continue the culture, the practice. And the pride is if it doesn't break. And this is true, this happens. Like I've seen people's reeds break into pieces, becoming toothpicks in front of us because we knew what they've done, but they were pretending to be pure. It becomes it's a very important and significant thing. I want to read it. I like what Ustuduzo is saying. The king has never chosen a girl to be his wife. The age you get there is between 16 to 50. There are people who are older than that and some a bit younger because now they do encourage girls to because some girls start practicing sexual acts younger, so they do encourage younger girls to also start joining before they get ruined. And there's a point where Ustuduzo said, the reed dance has been going on for 38 years, and the king only has 6 wives. He had 6 wives. Like, why doesn't he have 38?
Exactly.
And there's one that I wanted.
And even those wives are even older than that 38 years.
Usibo Uti, I grew up in a very traditional family, but for me, it was by choice to preserve myself, and it wasn't about the elders keeping me in line. It was more for me as a person. People seem to think it's by force. Nobody can force you to do it. Nobody is forced to do it. And I wish you could experience this, even just the songs, the advice that you get, and just being able to be with other women, appreciating women. There's a strong sense of sisterhood. And also, there are, like, I remember when there were bursaries introduced, people complained, and also it's just so much. It is, you can get therapy. It's so much, and people, people.
It is a great experience. It is a great experience. Trust me. It prepares you for a lot of things in life, not just for marriage only, but it grooms you as a woman.
Okay, let's clear this issue because they think we are saying only the reed can tell if you're a virgin or not. Who checks?
Okay, guys, I said when we go to the reed dance, of which Umkhosi Womhlanga, that happens once a year in the month of September, the king does not check anything there. The king is not even allowed to touch us. The only people who checks, or the only virgin testers, are our mothers. Baseyintombini or nomehlo. Those are the only people, not the king.
Yep. Yeah. The king has even chose a girl to be his wife. The age you get, okay, we've seen this one before. Ati Usibo, I know others, or rather most, especially Eswatini, attend the reed dance, but aren't pure. Most use the event for socializing. Girls don't know the value of umhlanga. Maybe Zulus still do. Can I explain that? Because we seem to have a problem with this. I can't say for sure, nobody gets bribed to say so and so is still a virgin, like we can bribe our policemen. But majority of the times, people tend to think if you are still a virgin, if you say I attend umhlanga, it means you do nothing else in life. The minute they see you in a club, these are children. Like if you go to umhlanga, you see how much people party. The song, the singing, the spirit of youthfulness. They encourage you to be a youth. They encourage you to even date. And dating doesn't necessarily mean you are now sleeping with people. And some people will look at a girl's breast and say, like her breast can, like we all have different body types. We all have different body types. Some people can have 4 children and look like they are 14. Some people can have no child and never been touched by a man, but they have bigger breasts, they have stretch marks, and those are things that we need to stop believing. Somebody's body can never tell you if they're a virgin or not. Just because somebody went to a party doesn't mean they're no longer a virgin. Walking on the streets with a boy or going to have a cup of coffee with a boy doesn't mean you're no longer a virgin. And dating doesn't mean you are sleeping with the person you are dating. Please, let me give you a chance to answer about
Guys,
people who think
you need to understand we're living in the same world as you guys. Whatever that is happening around you guys, it is also happening around us. And we are still growing up, guys. It's not like when we choose to become virgins, we are taken somewhere where we're just gonna be, blinded, and then everything is closed. We can't see anything, we can't experience the world. No, guys, we're still young, we're still growing, we still wanna live. Yes, we do date. Yes, we do go out. Yes, we do whatever that you guys do. The only thing that we do not do is practicing sex. The only thing that we do not do is indulging.
Yeah, so people tend to think that, and it becomes a problem, as well as people tend to think that if you say, I'm preserving myself, it means you will never date, and that first man you date, you're going to have to marry them. Can you explain that? What is the difference between dating and like courtship and preserving yourself?
So when you are dating as a maiden, it is more like you are in a courtship. Your relationship, it is all about being in public places. It is you guys not touching each other. So when you're dating as a virgin, it is more like you're in a courtship.
Yes.
That's how your relationship
is. Encouraged, which we should do. Whether even if you
call it celibacy. Is it celibacy when you're not practicing sex, but you basically
you can celibate, and even if you're coming from a relationship, even after having children, when you enter into a new relationship, don't jump into bed. Get to know someone. Because we believe in spiritual connection. That's why we do all these ceremonies where families have to meet, and families. It's just that our culture has been diluted a lot by colonization. Even the culture of lobola has been diluted because of what the colonizers detected we do, or how they detected we do it, and how much we pay. But that's a story for another day. But these are for your families to meet. Like, you don't just meet someone today and you sleep with them today. Like, spiritually.
And besides, the process of dating, or the stage of dating, I feel like it is very important in life. The experience itself of dating, it is very important in life, because that's how you get to know and learn people. That's how you get to discover what you like and what you do not like. And you get to see yourself as a person, how you are in relationships. You can't just jump into marriage without dating. Who is Luan? And you go around saying people are toxic, and you are the toxic one. So when you date, you get to learn all of those things. Your emotional intelligence as a person, your emotional intelligence as a person, your affection as a person, all of those things.
And you get to see the liars, because some men, you know, even women as well, you like, as soon as they open their mouth, you're like, I know you're lying. True. I've heard this story before.
True. So the process of dating, or the stage of dating, is very important. If you are a virgin out there, date as much as you can. And you know what's the challenge, Ma? If we don't get used to boys, or probably we don't date, we just jump into marriage. Or even if you do not jump into marriage, let's say you do not date for a long time, maybe you reach the age of 25 and you start dating, you feel like it's the right age for you to date. You start dating and you find a deceiver. You don't even know how to handle the guy. You don't even know how your body reacts when you are touched by a man, and you just give away everything. Because what? It's your first time being touched. You've never been touched before. You don't know your body. And now this man is promising you the heavens and the earth, and you've never had it before. And you just give away everything. So when you date, you know what's this one, I've had this before. So you can't deceive me. And I know what you can't touch me here, because I know my body's going to respond like this, and I want no trouble. So this is a no-go area for me.
And I like what Unotando is saying. People like to sexualize everything, especially when it comes to our Black culture, and miss the important aspects of the tradition. This really, really, it makes me so mad, especially when it comes to our body. We do not sexualize the body. That's why now we have young children being molested, because people have been changed and played with to think that every time you see a naked body it's because they want you, or when you see a woman, like culturally women would have been raped every day, every hour of the day, every woman, because people were walking around with their bodies. See, now we don't
Rape
sexualize
culture. Rape
breast,
culture.
just there's caffeine like for baby's milk to feed a child. And now you're buying newspapers where you have to pay to look at page 3 so you can see breast, and now people are sexualizing everything so much so that we can't even freely showcase our culture, because the internet reads it as fraud. Not fraud, as what this, as porn, as pornography, as pornography and nudity. We do not sexualize things, Tina. How do you feel? And how do people look at you girls when you go around and you're showing your breast? Please do follow Sleeping so you can see what I'm talking about on Instagram. I will put her links after the video. I will put links to her socials. Please do follow her so that you can see what I'm talking about, because unfortunately I couldn't really share, because like I said, that they will see it as porn and then the video will be in trouble, and but do check out her pages and see what I am talking about. But in most of them, bare-breasted. As an educated African woman who is well-traveled, what do you think about that part of the culture?
I think rape culture has affected us in a way, because this is the same question that people ask when a woman comes and report rape. The first question they will ask is, what were you wearing? As if me being dressed in a certain way gives a man right to see me as a sex doll or something. So rape culture has affected us, and I think people need to unlearn, because when you go back, when you go back, especially us KwaZulu, women will just walk around with their breast and wearing just their beaded belt here around their waist, of which it only covers the vagina only. Imagine if we were living in this time back then. It means women were going to be raped every day, most. So people need to understand that our culture is not nudity. And they do not have to sexualize everything. This is us embracing who we are. So we don't have to be seen as sex dolls or something, for that matter.
And what do you say to people who are saying it's a barbaric practice that should be left behind? We are in 2021. Why are you girls still doing this? This is not bongo.
I remember we once fought against the law that was saying virginity testing is abuse, or ukuhlolwa is abuse. You know what the problem is? These words have been made to sound like a taboo in our own language, but when you take them into English, they have been, sugar-coated and made them sound nicely. Same thing as ukuhlolwa. For me, ukuhlolwa, it is the same as eloping. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Because we take a decision together and we reach an agreement together to say, you know what, at this time of the night, since I can see that we love each other, but the situation is not allowing us to be together. So you know what, let's run away together. And we call it ukuhlolwa in our language. But I feel like it's the same thing as eloping in English, because even in English, they say, let's run away together.
Let's go to Vegas.
Exactly.
And ukuhlolwa is actually even better than eloping, because ukuhlolwa, it means I am afraid to tell my parents of your intention.
Exactly.
But if you do this act, then they will know that you and I are now an item. There's a difference between ukuntshontsha umuntu, ukuthumba umuntu, nokuthwala. Ukuthwala is not ukuthumba. and a lot of people tend to confuse the two. People tend to confuse the
Exactly.
two. And
So same
for
thing
us,
with virginity
culturally,
testing.
it is men who approach women. So it's never going to be a woman who tells us the man. And because women are seen as the one who will bear the children, who will go and extend your father's house, they're the ones that a bride price is paid for. It's not the other way around. And here, when they call it surprise wedding, proposal, if proposals were an African culture, believe you me, they would say it was abusive to women. How can you just propose to someone? You need to sit down and
True.
discuss. Don't decide
True.
when you are ready to marry someone.
Same thing with virginity testing. They have introduced sexual education. They have introduced sexual education, and there's nothing wrong with that since it is called sexual education. But there's a problem with ukuhlolwa or virginity testing. However, they still do take their kids to the doctors to check them and all of that. So
Yes.
even us, in our culture, this is our way of grooming a young girl, and this is our way of having a surety that they are still pure.
And can I just also add that in our culture, even if you go back into our history, our culture doesn't dictate for young people not to have fun. It just says no penetration until you become husband and wife. Because culturally, how Shaka Zulu was conceived, it was through a practice of ukuhlobonga, not ukuhlobonga, a practice of ukusoma, a practice of ukusoma, where young couples can, especially the soldiers, as they go away to war, and they were allowed to have thigh sex, what do you call it? But they used to be able to do it. They were having fun because they used to courtship was encouraged. Dating was encouraged. That's what made girls enjoy going to the river. They're going to find men. They're going to find young boys. But it doesn't mean, oh, I want to be a virgin. I'm just going to stay at home. I'm not going to speak to boys. I'm not going to do anything.
That's what people need to understand. Culture is not static. Culture is not static. We still do have fun. We still live our lives however we want to live our lives. And another issue that I always get, I always get questions like, you are a virgin, you are a maiden, but how come you still wear your bikinis? How come you still wear your bum shorts and whatnot? Guys, this same body that I walk around with, showing my breast, showing my thighs when I'm wearing imvunulo or my traditional attires, it is the same body that I used to wear bikinis. So what's the difference? Is it the fabric that gives you the problem or what? Just because now I'm no longer wearing beads, I'm not allowed to wear a bikini. Or you guys want me to take my traditional outfit to the beach with me?
It really does become a problem. It really does become a problem.
Because for me, it confuses me. What is the problem exactly? Because this is the very same body that is wearing that traditional attire, just that now I have changed or I have switched into another style or fabric. So, and you guys have a problem with the traditional attire or the fabric itself. What is it?
And I think we are wrong to think that if we had not been colonized, you'll still be wearing the same clothes. Our culture was very progressive. You look at things like the spear,
Yes.
how it was changed over time. You look at how Ushaga invented the first bulletproof.
Yes.
By learning, let us, which is how we won Impiase Sandwana when they had guns and we didn't, because they were very, very, very far thinking and very smart people.
So the evolution, culture has evolved in a way.
So even if we had not been what you call this colonized, we'd still not be doing things exactly the same. And if you look at our culture, women have always been respected. Look at women like Kabai. Like we've had women in leadership. We've had women leading the nation. We've had women.
That's what I always say, that culture has never suppressed women in any way.
In any way. In fact, let me tell you something about our culture. In our culture, A woman doesn't change her surname and take a man's surname. That came again with colonization and taxation in order to tax you and to fine you and make you liable for your man's debts. In our culture, you don't become a Mrs. So-and-so. You become a Mas Banbani. You carry your father's name. Only your children will take their father's name. And we do not have surnames in our culture. We never had surnames until colonization. This is why people don't know who they are, because you are calling yourself father, like 10 forefathers before you. Because ushaka kasenza ngakhona, usenza ngakhona kasibani. I'm supposed to be Thenjiwe kaThenene. Uthenene kasibani, and that's how you even know your trail of ancestors. But because taxation and Home Affairs came and said, we stop it here. All of you now are not going forward.
And the certificate is how much?
So it becomes a problem. And so I'm glad that you cleared that just because you are seen today like this, it doesn't mean you are confused if tomorrow you are seen like this. And it doesn't mean you've lost your virginity if tomorrow you are seen like
I'm living a double-sided life. No.
And it doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing when you are seen modeling something. But that's not cultural. No, she doesn't know who she is. Like, and we are multi-talented people. We are multi-talented people. I have 3 YouTube channels.
We are. So, guys,
what's the best part what's the best parts? What culture is this? Yes, it is Zulu. Yes, it's abantu.
It's abantu.
It is Zulu. And what's the best part of these? I don't know whether to call them meetings, but when you meet up with other girls, because you guys are different groups, different teams. Now it was the music and the dancing for me. What's
for me? For me, it's the woman empowerment, the sisterhood that you feel there, the teachings, you guys sharing experiences. You know, someone will come from Durban and say, in Durban, this is how we do things, and this is what I've went through in my journey. And you get to learn, you know, the love we share and everything. It's priceless.
Yes, I like what Nantigalelo is saying. Our parents should have insightful conversations with their children regarding this topic instead of being told to stay at home and running away from boys. This is very, very important because a lot of parents will just tell you how boys will make you pregnant. Don't speak to boys.
Hey,
that's why when someone got pregnant and the parent was like, hey, how did you get pregnant? I was sleeping with boys. She was like, no, we're not sleeping, we're standing. Because you're just telling your children, don't sleep with boys. And if the children do it standing, they haven't made a mistake. Tell them that.
Because they're not sleeping.
About the value of their body. Like, imagine, guys, if your mother, because especially for boys, and I feel sorry for young boys of today, because a lot of you are going to die not having slept with a virgin. I'm sorry. Some of you will never sleep with a girl who doesn't have a child because of how we've become as a society. But imagine you having a mother, and in your lifetime, you've met 16 men who say, I slept with your mother, I could have been your father. Just imagine, as a child, sometimes you're not doing things for yourself, you're doing them for your children, so that you know nobody can come to my child and say things about me, because there's nothing that hurts more than someone saying certain things about your mother and knowing their truth. If you know they are true, it hurts. It hurts deep. It hurts differently. So sometimes, and people tend to think you are doing it for men. Can you please remind everyone who's watching, why do girls preserve themselves?
Guys, listen, I'm not preserving myself for any man out there. At some point, it is something that is bound to happen, that I become intimate with someone. However, it is not the main goal or the main achievement. This is about me saying, you know what? I want to wait for the right time. A woman's body goes through some development stages, of which it develops to a certain level, and we develop differently. You can't take me or take my body and compare it with someone who's 13 and yet the person is chubby. I might be older than that person, but only to find that my body is way younger than that person, you know? So this is me saying I want to grow up to a certain stage when I'm able to make decisions, when I'm able to take a decision and live with it. Because it's not only just about making a decision, but you also need to be able to live with it. And if you were not ready, trust me, you will die lamenting and regretting. You will never find peace.
I regret, man, I gave up mine when I was a bit older than normal people these days. I was 22, but I still regret it. I feel like I gave it up too soon. And I feel like, and he was not even romantic, that guy. He played Ushwino Mtekala, imagine.
And imagine giving it away at the age of 16. It is not guaranteed that the relationship is gonna work out. You guys are still growing. You both still trying to find yourselves. So at the age of 30, at the age of 30, you would have been with how many people?
You don't even know your own body. You don't even enjoy it. It's not even something.
And funny, because once you start with this thing, there's no way that you're gonna say, you know what, I'm stopping now. I'm waiting for the husband and what. It's not easy. Once you start touching it, you need to.
Yeah, it's like opening a tab. Like it keeps running. It keeps wanting more. It keeps wanting more. Yes, I am a virgin. Thanks to my surgeon. I have a very good surgeon, guys. I'll hook you up. Please get in touch. If
Someone asked,
to restore things into factory settings, let me know. I've got connections.
Someone asked me that if you make a mistake and sleep with a guy, that's how they said. They asked the question, if you make a mistake and sleep with the guy and now you're regretting, you want to go back to being a virgin, how do you do it?
There is no reverse. It's a car without a reverse gear, unfortunately. There is no
I feel like a lot of people would have. There's no way. There's no way. And trust me, there's this thing that people say that people put us things there and whatnot, the levers, the what, guys. Yay, there's nothing like that. Imagine walking around with a lever trying to hold it so that it does not fall. Guys, there's nothing like that.
Those are just jokes. I don't think anyone will even say it.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah. There's someone who wanted to know, how would you advise a 19-year-old who wants to start? What advice would you give to a 19-year-old?
Who wants to join?
Yes.
That's you actually about to make the best decision. You're about to make the best decision that you will never regret. And one day you're going to look back and say, out of all the decisions I've made in my life, this one was the best one. Trust me. It is, well, it is good to preserve yourself. Not, well, some people would say, I prefer staying as a virgin, but not be a maiden. There's nothing wrong with that. But being a maiden comes with a lot of benefits. It's more like hitting one bed with many stones, you know.
And also, you make friends. You make friends.
Not even
videos I have on Thenjiwe TV. You make
you
friends.
Get motivated.
The motivations, guys, alone. These girls, they
the support.
And you learn to appreciate your power, knowing that I don't need a man for me to experience a burger. I don't need a man to have my first car. I don't need a man in order to go to a movie. I can do these things by myself. I can do these things by myself. Utumoyo Shui, and he was playing Hey guys. You know the township ice blocks and broken biscuits. Things we've seen in life. If I knew, I would have waited and gave it away in Dubai in a five-star hotel. But okay, listen. Baby, I am not necessarily understanding what this means. And what makes you proud to be Zulu? There's a saying in Zulu, I don't know, maybe Slay, you can translate it for me in a better way, where we say, and it offends people. People think we are being tribalist when we say this. Ukube ngangemZulu ngangiyoba yini?
Kodwa Nkosi yami.
Awu, uNkulunkulu wami, mangingavuka ngingemZulu kungcono ungithathe. If I wake up one day and I'm no longer Zulu, God, please take me. Even when we pray, you see, thank God I woke up and
I'm Zulu.
I speak Zulu. Thank God. Like we are proud people, guys, and it doesn't.
Guys, what makes me proud is
we're offending other people. We are truly proud. We are being us.
I mean, it's a blessing. Being a Zulu is a blessing.
Let me make people understand how powerful Zulu is. And if you want to come on this platform and tell us about your culture and teach us about your culture, please get in touch. Let's do that. Let us learn from each other. Let us learn about each other. Zulu means heaven. KwaZulu, which is where Zulu people come from, mean place of heaven. The Zulus, AmaZulu, means people of heaven. That's why
what more do you want?
But the hardest thing about being a Zulu, which if you are planning to convert into Zulu, please consider this carefully before you convert. Zulus never rest, guys. Because even after we die, we still have to work as ancestors. That's the only hardest thing about being Zulu. Like, we never rest in peace. Like, I see people saying rest in peace. I'm like, that's a stolen concept.
We are about to be the underground gang.
See, now, we don't say RIP. We don't say rest in peace. And it's actually offensive to a Zulu to say rest in peace to their family members. See, now we say, come back and look after the children. Yes. Be a good ancestor. Come back and look after the family. Come back and look after the children. So if you say RIP to a Zulu and you see them looking at you funny, it's because you are telling their people, my ancestor, like, I'm counting now, I'm about to win the lottery now that this person is gone. They're going to come back with the lottery numbers as an ancestor. You're telling them to go and rest. What makes you proud to be Zulu?
The language itself. Yo. Uyayazi insizwa mayishela ngesizulu. Ngiyayibona leshela ngesilungu ngama-essay. Uyayazi mayishela ngesizulu idlala ngenkotho ikhipha ulwimi. The language itself. I'm in love with it. I'm in love with it. You know, you can apologize in English maybe and say, I'm sorry. For me, it's like, it's a cliche. It's like, oh, you're sorry. But the minute you say, Ngiyaxolisa, can you hear the difference? And
there's a Zulu romance that cannot be compared with any. Like, there's so many things. Like, our language is very poetic. That's number one. That's why it's hard to translate Zulu. I always tell people when I do my skits or do things in Zulu and they like put subtitles, I'm like, it's going to be lost in translation. A lot of the things are how we say them rather than what we are saying. It's a very, very poetic language. And there are things that only a Zulu man can say. But sifile leso sihlalo ozohlala embhedeni 9 months later you have a baby.
Lalela siyawa leso sihlalo mama ozohlala la.
Ozohlala embhedeni. Khumula leyo nguba ngifuna ishwabane. 9 months later you have a baby. Hey, when you date men, don't go into their homes. See them in restaurants, in public areas. Guys, young ones.
Yeah, the language itself. Another thing, the respect. Zulus have respect, and hence when you find a Zulu person not getting respect, they get furious and aggressive, because that is something that we appreciate a lot and we want to see it, you know? So respect for me.
And our language, our culture, it demands respect, so much so that even how we address people, whether in a workplace, it became a problem when Black people started, well, in the birth of the new South Africa, when Black people started working in the offices and having senior positions, and some people were getting offense because, number one, we don't call anyone your mother's age, you call them automatically mama, auntie, or CC.
Yeah.
Like we don't just address people by name, and it is a sign of respect, but some people find it offensive, and it becomes a problem, and some people find it unprofessional in a workplace. But when you come to KZN, like, you just get used to it, because that's how we are. We feel bad. It's like this issue of greeting. We greet.
And we greet. I sit next to you in a bus, Sawubona. You passing by, we greet.
They will greet you first.
That's how we are.
People Zulus get so offended. Even on stage, you come, you think you're just going to take a mic and tell them jokes. No, they won't laugh. You must greet. Now we can be friends. We can continue.
So the music, the dances, everything, man, everything. Everything.
Listen, and what people don't understand is that, one day I must do a video on the Nguni history. The Nguni languages start from Kenya, come down, and when you listen to people, Tanzania, Kenya, we speak the same language.
We do.
Just different dialects. Like when people are speaking, well, Swahili is a mixture of Arab and other languages as well, but you can tell that it has its originality is Nguni, because a lot of the words they use, it's surprising how similar it is to Sizulu. But we differ but they don't have cliques, and I think because of the Arab influence, we have cliques, the Xhosas have cliques, and that's what people don't understand, how much of one people we are. Because there's no way that a language can be so similar to another language without a history that connects us.
That connects it, yeah.
Utu Samgelo, I turned 21 last month, and I've preserved myself till the age of 21, still preserving myself though, but I'm quite disappointed at our culture and socially lack of embracing boys who do this. That's one thing we need to address. Do you guys know that the king also had ceremonies for boys? And do you know that the reason...
don't know about it.
In our culture, the reason we stopped doing circumcision, because once again, people think circumcision is just chopping boys' 4 thingies off and that's it. That's when they are taught to be a man, how to treat women, how to do this, how to be a leader of a family and all that. And that's when they sit like a camp. It's a boys' camp, like how in America they have summer camps. It's something similar to that. And that's how they see different strengths in different people with leadership skills, people with different skills. And in the Zulu culture, the king brought it back, but he encouraged it to be done in hospitals, but still the boys come to the camps. But the circumcision part is done in hospitals. You go and do it in a hospital rather than have it done in a mountain. Because we do have hospitals now, they do provide better and faster care of the foreskin and things like that. So we do have boys, we respect boys, and we do embrace boys. I think a lot of people are not aware of that. A lot of boys in KZN now circumcised, but the king said, let us do it in hospitals so that we do it in a safe environment. They even had a big national drive of encouraging people. And he was at the forefront of that. And boys, preserve yourselves. You can't be a sausage that goes to every microwave and think you're gonna maintain your elasticity. You're gonna be a full-time member of the men's clinic by the age of 30 if you don't look after yourself. And also,
And funny, you know what's the problem with these boys? They sleep around, and when they want to settle down,
they want
after ruining, after ruining these girls, they want and aim for better.
Mm.
That's not how it works, Baba. Idla amanyala akho.
And also, okay, these days, it's not, yes, there are ceremonies called umkhosi woselo. Thank you, Stu. Thank you. Ngithi ngivezela slebhinqa yang amathanga. Yo, I get it's for Zulu, strong Zulu. And let's talk about not clan names. What do you call is bongo? Like when I know you have is bongo zakho. Praise names, ne?
Yeah, praise names, yeah.
What are yours and how did you get them? Can you explain to people who are not even aware of what is that?
Yes. Now I'm gonna take that whenever I introduce myself, I'm gonna be like, YouTube.
Yes.
But and take whatever that he said. And as it's your personality as a person. You know, mina I say, why? I'm always smiling. That's me. I say ngunyawana zimhloshana ngokuhlala emachobeni ngimhlophe ngiyellow bone inyawo zami zimhlophe. You know, that's, you get them everywhere. Someone would come and say, "Oh, ntombi emhlophe." Next time when I introduce myself, I'd be like, "Ngintombi emhlophe okwehlabathi zolwandle."
And people don't even understand the importance of clan names. I get disappointed when I see young people who don't even know their own clan names.
You can't even give them to yourselves. Like, I mean, it says a lot about you as a person.
And that's why people get confused, especially amongst Zulus and Xhosas. This is big. When people introduce themselves, like if I say, I'm Thenjiwe Maphumulo, people who are responding are not going to call me Maphumulo. They're going to then refer to me as Mashiman, how's it going?
Mashiman,
we call each other by clan names. Because these clan names are not even our concept. They are not our things. And we praise each other. Some people get so bored that, hey, you Zulus are always praising each other. And what I love also is how you girls are not afraid to fix each other's crown, are not afraid to tell another girl how beautiful they are or to advise them about their strengths. Like, you are good at this, why don't you do that? And that discrimination is there. Classism and discrimination when it comes to such things, because it will be, especially when it goes to the main dance, the reed dance, it will be girls coming from different parts of the country. Obviously, some are coming from suburban areas, some from the township, some from the countryside. What makes you one as someone who comes from a background that is completely different from yours?
You know, it's been years since I've been attending the reed dance. Not even once I ever felt left out or something like that. You know what you get when you go there? Sleeping, I've seen you on Instagram. I love you so much. Can we take pictures? Can you come to the side and sit with us? Can we, you know, even when you sing, you become one. I think it's just the spirit. The spirit, and yes, it's the spirit, because when we're there, we become one. There's no one who can be like, no, I'm from Joburg, I'm better than this one. No, we become one. Hence, I'm from Joburg, but I have friends in Durban. I have friends where. Like, I travel from Joburg just to attend umcimbi omunye. Someone will travel from wherever to attend. So we are one. What we do brings us together. Now
and also what people don't understand. Let me see if I can actually play this song. I won't be able to do it properly because of you guys are showing your breast, and people will be like, "Hey, YouTube, terminate this channel." But the meaning of the songs, you must listen to the songs. They are so meaningful. There's okay, I won't even play it. I'll ask you to sing it because you're a good singer. The one that says Kusekaya Lana. Because people don't understand the meaning of the songs. They think we're just loud people who just want to sing, Jay, and dance.
Wemntanami kusekhaya la, kusekhaya la, kusekhaya la, kusekhaya la.
What is happening now?
Noma ngabe izindle zodaka, noma ngabe izindle zodaka, noma ngabe izindle zodaka, kwemntanami kusekhaya la, kusekhaya la, kusekhaya la, kusekhaya la. Noma ngabe izindle zodaka. Nkosi yami, you know this song. You know this song. It says, no matter how your background is, even if you're from a disadvantaged background, home will be always home. That's it. This song is very deep, hey? This song is very deep because people are afraid to embrace or to show their backgrounds. But we need to remember that it is not our mistake and we do not have control over that. What you need to do, you need to know what it is your responsibility to change it. But you can't shy away from it.
Yep.
Work on changing it. That's the only thing you can do. Work on changing it.
Like the meaning of the songs, guys. Give yourself time and listen to the songs. Let me see if I can go back to the computer because I'm on the phone now. So I'm just gonna remove myself.
The song is very deep, guys. The song is very deep. Home is home. Home is home. And you know, they say we do not choose family. We do not choose family. So you did not choose to be born in that family. But work on changing the situation. That's the best you can do. So that one day you can never be afraid to point at that house and say, this is my home.
Oh, actually, do you know what, as Zulus in the UK, we met up? Like, look at Amabu to come here. Like, we have such a rich history. A friend of mine, her daughter turned 16, and she did umhlonyane for her here in the UK.
That's right.
Another one had a daughter who also turned 16. Unfortunately, it was in 2020, last year. It was last year. But the parents' friends had to send money, to send gifts, even though we couldn't do a proper function. But you do those things. Just because you are no longer home, it doesn't mean you are no longer who you are. If I take a log and put it in the river, it doesn't become fish. It remains a log. Just because you've come to the UK, it doesn't stop you from being an African. You are an African. You are an African. You're not going to change who you are. You can take a cat and put it amongst dogs. It's not going to change. It will always be a cat. You can come back 20 years later. So location shouldn't change who you are, shouldn't change your pride, shouldn't change how you behave, and it shouldn't make you embarrassed of who you are. That's why I really respect Asian people, because it doesn't matter where they are. You will find an Asian food shop, you'll find an Asian market, you'll find their temples. You like they don't embrace. And there's this thing that we need to fight, especially as Black South Africans, where we think, if that's why we have so much to unlearn. We tend to think, if I'm the only Black person, it means I have achieved. You can be the only Black person amongst useless people of other races, but you think, yeah, I was the only Black person. Yeah, my child is the only Black child in school. Let us embrace being together. Let us look for our own people. Let us be happy to live in a neighborhood with our own people. People They don't even want to be buried amongst their own people. How you want to be buried with people who hated you? So just because you are no longer in Africa, it doesn't mean you are no longer African.
Yazi ibhetri lami liya phansi kunokuthi liye phezulu and ifoni yami ise-charging.
Sorry.
I don't know what's going on.
What does it say, Ilokuzana? Sleeping, have you attended Eswatini read dance?
Unfortunately, I was supposed to attend in 2019, same weekend I was supposed to attend. My mom passed on, but I'm hoping whenever things go back to normal, I'm definitely going to attend because I have everything, my passport. I even have imvunulo yamaswati.
Oh, I love Swaziland, and
I even have imvunulo yabo.
I love
So I'm definitely going to attend when things go back to normal.
So kuphumlela uyahleka ukuthi here in the UK. So I don't know which part is funny. Yes, here in the UK people do that.
No, ngibona ngathi akathembi ukuthi use UK. Ucabanga mhlawumbe uyajoke.
Make London, it thinks it's London. I'm happy to see so much maturity in UCC. Culture has never suppressed a woman and it has never ceased. However, once you start to mix it with Western teachings, you end up... Thank you. Yep.
Ningiyeke ngo patriarchy, no feminism. Ningiyeke, because if you come to me with those content, with those terms, you need to tell me in what context are you defining them.
Yes. You know, so this modern life and westernization told us to build a toilet next to a kitchen. In a culture, and a toilet and a kitchen, they are not next to each other.
Exactly.
Brought us ubunuku. This is lungu. Why is my toilet next to my kitchen?
Exactly.
We need to go back and understand who we are. Ngathi zingake zihlangane khona la UK. I'm waiting. Were you there when Amabutho came? You guys, it was the most beautiful thing in 2018 when 2018 when Amabutho were in Wales. Yo, our culture, guys.
I think I'm gonna leave, ne? Because I don't know what's going on with my charger.
But I think what I like is that nobody actually had any questions as serious because you explained a lot of things so well. Here is Slay's YouTube channel, guys. Please do subscribe to her. Let us encourage her, and I'm going to keep encouraging her to do these things, to do content, and please do help me by supporting her. Subscribe, watch, and tell her what you come from here. Encourage her, because I think this is one way where we can preserve our culture. See, now culturally, we sit around and we tell stories. We are not writers. We are not readers. We like to sit and listen. We like to sit and talk. So let us use YouTube as that platform.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you guys for joining us. It was lovely engaging with you guys. Till we meet again. Good night.
Thank you so much. Love you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Really, really appreciate you watching. And yeah, I love the culture. And I've always wondered why when Christianity comes in the culture, change no more. We will address that issue one day. We will. These are the things we need to talk about. And mine is, Thenjiwe Unplugged. If you go on YouTube, Thenjiwe Unplugged. I don't have a link because I just copied Slay's link. But if you go and look for Thenjiwe Unplugged, you will find me. Please do support us as content creators. We need your support so that we can continue telling these stories and so that we can continue showing the world how proud we are. I hope you guys got your questions answered, and I hope you now understand us as the Zulus a little bit more. If there's anything else you would like, maybe you want me to bring you someone who's in a polygamous relationship who can come and explain the reason of anything. You let me know. Anything that you hear about the Zulu culture, you want clarity, let me know. I will bring you someone because a lot of the times our culture is not told by people who are living it. It is told by observers, by people who see it their own way and want to tell it their own way. So we are here, we are telling our own stories. Anything you want to know about the Zulu culture, let me know. I'll hook you up. I'll organize somebody. Thank you so much, guys. Love you.